Now let's show you how to do the intelligent setup with Linsen control system. I'll open the Let's Studios and go to Option and go to Software Setup, Input Linsen and keyboard, and then we have a drama window. Password is 16A. We are in, and then we go to Receiver. And we have intelligent setup here, and then we click intelligent setup, and then we go to here, the display type. As you can see, the first modules is the modules that we are going to do for the intelligent setup, and it's 32 pixel width and 32 pixel high, so only this cabinets. I have disconnect these line cabinets and these line cabinet modules. Only this one is connecting with signals. Now we're back to the software. For this one is full color real pixels. This is display type. That means what kind of LED display you are using. We have single color, double color, full color, and full color real pixels. This one is full color, so that we choose full colors. And the driver chips, normally the manufacturers will tell you what driver IC is used on the modules. As you can see, we have supported a lot of driver ICs with PWMs and constant currents. So that don't worry that your driver IC is not supported. 99% of the driver IC is supported by Linsen. And then we go to the module informations. So since it's module information, it means it is information of a single modules. Not a cabinet, not a display, but just a modules. As we know, we just showed you that our modules is 32 by 32, so we input the width 32 and the height 32. And data input port. Data input port, we can have a look at the back of these modules. As you can see that one module's signals goes in here, and this one is out. One in, one out. So means it's only one data port in these modules. So back in the software, we input data port 1. Okay, let's back to the computer. So the data input port is 1. And the data groups, it means how many RGB signals is in that port. Since we are using hub 75, it is 2. It means in one data input port we have 2 groups of RGB signal. For the data type, it is RGB separate. RGB separate, that's the first one. It means red lamps, green lamps, and blue lamps is in a different packaging. For the row decode mode, normally if it is static and then no decode, so not static, no decode. And for our modules, we use 13A decode chip, so we choose 13A. And we leave the cascade mode as normal and the rest as normal. And now we go to the modules cascade directions. And here we have a hint that look from the front of the display. So we look in the front of the display. The signals is going from the right to the left, from here to here. As you can see, we have one input port here, output port here to the next module. So the signals goes from right to left. So we choose right to left. So we have to make sure that the module information we input is correct. For the pixel width and height, you can do a pixel count. For the data input port, you can just look at how many input ports are there so that you can know. For the data group, if you don't know, you can tell Linson support team what hub card you're using, or you can take a pictures of the modules so that we can know how many data ports, how many data groups is in one port. And then we go to next. And from next, we have the see togethers. We will see the changes on the modules and we choose accordingly. We click next. You can see that we have two status here so that we can manually switch and see. So when I click 1, you can see that module is light up, and when I click 2, that is black. So we can do several times to make sure which status is with the white or black. So in this case, 1 is white and status 2 displays black. So we choose in the job list, we choose status 1 displays white and status 2 displays black. And then we go to next. Also, we need to look at the modules and change the status, and then we choose descriptions to the status. Status 1, status 2. So we can see status 1 is brighter than status 2. So in the display status, we choose status 1 is brighter than status 2. So all the steps is we switch between status 1 and 2, and then we choose a description that fits the display status. So this one is status 1 is brighter than status 2. We go to next, and then we see we click on status 1, and then the modules is light up with red, so we choose red here, and we go to status 2, and the modules is display green, so we choose green, and go to status 3. It is the modules display blue, so we choose blue, and status 4 it's black, so we choose black, and then we go to next. And we can see the modules, there is one light up line there. So in the options here, we see that it's a row, so it's not a column, it's not at all. So we choose row, and the bright rows of the LED modules is 1, so we choose 1. And for the interval row, you can see that since there is only one bright row there, so that there is no interval rows. But seeing from the options here, we have to including one bright row, so that 0 plus 1, so that's 1. And then we go to next. You can see there is a bright spot light up in the modules, and if you see carefully in this Intelligent Setup Guide 7, you will see that there is a 32 pixel width and 32 pixel height in these grips. It means each of the grips is one of the lamps according to the modules, so that we can see. We click on the blind spot, so if you see the modules, that's the top left corners, so it's the same positions we choose here. So the top left corner, that's 1, 1. We click on 1, 1, and the modules light up the next bright spot. That's going to be the next one on the right. So we go to second, and it light up another one in the modules, so that we just follow, because the modules is always light up one more than in the Guide 7. So we just follow, and we just follow, and then if we finish, there will be a jump out message that says that this step is finished. Until then, we just follow the module reactions. If we light up, just follow the directions. As you can see, each modules would act differently. Okay, now we light up the second one on the second row on the top left, so that we choose top left of the second row. And then now it's not going to the left but going down. So we choose as it shows. The line is always guide us what's the next step, so that we just follow. Now, we have the last video tell us that the pixel recognition finished. If the pixels you choose are alright, please click next and enter next recognitions. Now, since we are doing exactly the same way of the lines up directions, now we click OK and we go next. And during these steps, if we have mixed click on a spot, we can go click back and then we go to the last spot. And if we want to do it again, we click on reposition. Now since we're doing alright, we go straight next. You can see that modules now it is showing with the mouse. It means that it's correct. It means it's correct. Now we click OK. And then we can save on files. Save on files, and then we give it a name. Now I give it a name of 323213A. It means that the modules we are working on is 32 by 32 and with 138 decode chip. Now we save, so that once we have the same cabinets, so that we can just load the RCG file, so we don't have to do the intelligent setup again. Now we go and plug in all the cables. Now connect the cables next to the second row, next to the first modules, and I power up the second line and also connected the data here. And then we check. Okay, now the follow of the LED cabinet is lined up now. But as you can see, each of 32, it means each of the module is repeated. Each of the modules repeated. And that's because we haven't put the correct actual width here. For the display we're looking at is 256 width and 128 high. So once we have the data inputs here and we click send to receiver, and you can see that, I'm sorry, and we click on send to receiver, and it says whether to send to all receiving card, and yes. Okay, as you can see, the LED display, each module is connecting each other. It's connecting, so it looks like a one big LED display. So each module is connected. It's not separated anymore. And the next step is we choose the correct parameters. So the step is we make the intelligent setup, and then we input the correct actual width and the actual height, and then we choose the gray level. And the gray mode we choose, since we are supporting high refresh, we choose high refresh, and we choose 16-bit gray levels, and then we choose high qualities, synchronized refresh, and then the scan clock normally it goes to 16.7, and then we can go this again, and we can save on file again, because the previous one we saved was without this data. But for now we can save again, and then we can send to receiver. So if we want more refresh rates, we can choose next rates of the qualities here, and then we can see that we will have more. We can change between gray levels and refresh rate. It depends on image qualities or the refresh rates we want to achieve, so that we can have flexibles here, flexibilities here. So as we can, if you look at every display now, it is all connected. So that's the intelligent setup.